Welcome back, dear learners, to the 12-week Swayambhuk course on Indian Economic Development. I, Dr. Amisha Gupta from Department of Economics, Banaras Hindu University, welcome you in this 9th week, and today we are going to discuss our 5th lecture, which is on growth of service sector in India. Dear learners, in last lecture we had already discussed about the concept of service sector, wide range of activities that are involved under service sector, its share in gross value added, and we had also compared sectoral growth with other sectors, and we have also discussed about what are the main patterns in the service sector growth across Indian states and how do contributions among different states vary by subsectors and regions. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about the leapfrog jump of service sector in India. In just 50 years since gaining independence, India's service industry has contributed more than 50% of the nation's gross value added. It still only employs 30% of the labor force, and as a result the bulk of our working population is still supported by manufacturing, which has not yet reached its full potential, and agriculture, which is stagnating. So this poses a special threat to India's future economic expansion and calls for creative solutions that will enable country's service sector to quickly reach its full potential. And in Indian economy, its achievements and investigates possible catalysts for future fair economic expansion. So, as per Economic Survey 2024-25, India's service sector has been steadiest contributor to the gross value added in the economy. Its contribution to the gross value added at current prices has increased from 50.6% in fiscal year 2014 to about 55% in fiscal year 2025. The growth in service sector as measured by year-on-year change in real GVA by services has been above 6% in each year in the last decade, except for COVID-19 pandemic that affected fiscal year 2021. The average services growth rate before the pre-pandemic year was 8%, and the average services growth in post-pandemic year, that is fiscal year 2023 to fiscal year 2025, has risen to 8.3%. The service sector also provides employment to approximately 30% of the workforce, and services also contribute indirectly to GDP through the servicification of manufacturing, that is, increasing utilization of services in manufacturing production and post-production value addition. So, we can say that the observed structural shift diverges from the conventional pattern of economic development, which typically progresses from agriculture to industry and then services. However, instead we can say that countries like India are experiencing a more direct transition to service-led growth, reflecting deeper technological integration, increasing global interconnectedness, and rising demand for intangible, knowledge-intensive outputs. And this information is as per the World Bank report 2019. So here we can say that India has climbed 10 position from 17th in 2000 to 7th in 2023, marking one of the largest upward shifts among all major economies. Its services sector value added rose from $0.33 trillion in 2000 to $1.6 trillion in 2023, registering an impressive absolute increase of $1.27 trillion. So here we can say that India's development experience reflects this broader global realignment with the service sector, which emerges as the principal engine of the economic growth. So Here, as of 2024-25, the service contribute an estimated 55% of India's GVA, up from approximately 51% in 2013-14, which emphasizes its role as primary source of domestic value creation. Further, now the question arises that how the India's economic structure changed over time, especially in the shift from agriculture to service sector. So here we can say that between 2011-12 and 2023-24, India's economic structure underwent continued evaluation, with the service sector consolidating its position as the largest contributor to GVA. During this period, the share of the primary sector declined from 21.1% to 16.7%. The secondary sector remained broadly stable at around 28 to 29%, and the service sector expanded from 49 to 54.5%. So we can say that the service sector has emerged as the most stable and resilient component of GVA, whereas primary sector remained vulnerable to climatic fluctuations, and secondary sector also displayed cyclical variability, and services maintain steady momentum. Since independence to till date, we have seen that the contribution of service sector has been changed. As discussed in our last lecture, that there is a steady decline in the primary sector share, and this consistent falling from a standard pattern of development where the relative weight of agriculture and related activities diminishes as the economy diversifies. As the economy develops, the share of agricultural sector, or we can say the primary sector, declines, and the share of industrial and service sector increases. In the case of India, we have seen that the share of service sector has increased in comparison to industrial sector, means the economy has leapfrog jump. There are certain indicators of structural transformation. There is shift from agriculture, like resources from economy are shifted from low productivity primary activities to into modern high productivity sectors, or we can say there is change in the sectoral distribution, that higher share of service sector in the economy. If we talk about increase in migration, that we have also seen that the rural to urban migration has increased. So these are some kind of indicators which reflect that the economy has gone under a structural transformation. And further, we can also say that fostering trade integration and that advancing labor market reforms, these are the indicators which show structural transformation in our economy. And a number of changes implemented by Indian government during 1990s and early 2000s contributed to the robust growth of country's service industry. Now we are going to discuss that what are the reasons of leapfrog jump. The very first reason we are going to discuss is the economic liberalization. If we talk about economic liberalization, when India's economy was liberalized in 1991, international investment has been increased, and this also allowed the service sector to benefit, especially in terms of, we can say, IT and BPO sectors and KPO sectors. Next is skilled labor force. If we talk about skilled labor force, India has a sizable highly educated workforce that works at comparatively low salaries in comparison to the workforce in wealthy nations. So this trained workforce has been used by service sector industry, as discussed in especially in case of IT and BPO sectors and KPO sectors. Next is low capital requirement. In comparison to the industrial sector, the service sector requires comparatively less capital investment, and the service sector industry has grown as a result of entrepreneurs finding it simpler to establish service-based firms. Next is government policies. Here the different kind of subsidies, different kind of tax havens and infrastructure investment are just a few measures that the Indian government has put in place to encourage the expansion of the service industry. Next, technological development. Here, as a result of the worldwide revolution in the information and communication technology, many services like software development and business process outsourcing and knowledge process outsourcing can now be traded internationally, making nations like India global service hub. Next is urbanization, that we can say that as a result of economic expansion and the corresponding increase in per capita income and urbanization, there is a greater need of variety of services such as healthcare service, education services, financial services, entertainment services and travel related services. These also make the service sector growth. This also contributed to the growth in service sector. Next is human capital. In the global services, the availability of sizable pool of competent English speaking experts in nations like India gave them a comparative edge. Further, strong links to other sectors. Here we can say that the rise of the service sector is basically fueled by the growth of manufacturing and agricultural sector, which raised demand for support services like banking services, telecommunication services, transport services, insurance services, etc. And finally, higher productivity and better earnings. Here, compared to traditional farming, and the service sector and industrial sector typically offer higher earnings and better job prospects, which helps in absorption of workers from rural areas. As per IMF paper on advancing India's structural transformation and catch up to the technology frontier, economic activity in India has shifted over time from agriculture to services, and agriculture share of value added declined from over 40% in 1980 to 15% in 2019, and the share of value added in service sector, it simultaneously grew over 30% of value added to over 55%. In case of, if we talk about manufacturing sector, it has been relatively constant over this period. So we can say then what are the key issues that are related to service sector growth, or what are the issues related to leapfrog gem. We have seen the different indicators from where we have seen that India has moved towards from agriculture to service sector, leaving behind the manufacturing sector. But there are certain kind of issues also related to this. That is the very first issue, which is called that employment generation remains limited. While the service sector dominates the GDP, its ability to generate large scale employment remains limited in comparison to agriculture and manufacturing sector. Next is overemphasis on services. Overemphasis on services diverts attention from manufacturing and agricultural sector, and just we can say that large scale job creation and rural development are also important, which has lack focus because of overemphasis on service sector. Next is asymmetric regional development. Because of growth in service sector, here the growth is disproportionately concentrated in urban areas, leaving rural and backward regions underdeveloped, which created regional imbalances. Next is dependence on external demand. India's service sector, service exports, particularly in IT, BPO, KPO, it rely heavily on global market, which makes economy vulnerable to external shocks like recessions in US. And next is mismatch between skills of workforce and industry demand. The lack of alignment between the skills of workforce and industry demands limits the scalability of the service sector. While the sector demands tech-savvy and high-skilled professionals, much of India's labor force remains semi-skilled. Next is urban congestion. This particular growth in service sector has led to overcrowding or we can say led to urban congestion, and it also helps in inadequate infrastructure in major cities, which also reduces the productivity and livability. Finally, we can conclude that the population has not, however, undergone a uniform transformation. A sizable section of the rural population still relies on agriculture, which causes underemployment and regional inequities. And while urban areas enjoy high productivity, higher paying services, also they are facing the problem of urban congestion. So the manufacturing sector's capacity to absorb excess agricultural workers has been hampered by its slow growth, which is a result of infrastructural issues and regulatory obstacles. So the growth of service sector has raised living standards, national income and worldwide economic connectivity. making its distinctive aspect of India's contemporary economic environment, and there is a requirement of the growth of manufacturing sector so that the employment opportunities of the population can be expanded, as well as the issues of infrastructural capacities can be resolved. Thank you.